So this is a Redux part 2 of the Rip Cronk interview. We go walking around Venice and have a beer, and I shoot some stuff of this mural, the Starry Night, that's being redone. Looks really cool. So I'm going to try to salvage some of the sound work on this and give you as much content that was shot. But there's a lot of stuff that I probably won't be able to use because the sound, I should have brought external mics, but I didn't. Plus people, the more shit you have around you, the more people you have around you. And so anyways, enjoy this part 2 of the Rip Cronk interview. With Brett's with Friends, check out my website, brettwoods.com. Find me on brettwoods22 Instagram.
Some of the things about Venice have sort of held true for the time that I've known it. And, I know of it from the 50s and the early 60s, it was like the beat poet era there, and the Gas House and Jim Morrison period. But there wasn't much going on there other than that. There was a lot of empty spaces and empty buildings, and it was known for heroin and that kind of stuff. And it was an outlier area of LA. Back in the 20s and 30s, Venice was, at one point, Venice was as big as LA, but it was known for all of its debauchery, and you go out to the bathhouses and all. And this is where the carnivals and all that kind of stuff. It was like a party area, right? During Prohibition, this is where the liquor snuck in and that kind of thing. So it went from this beautiful sort of place, and LA was, it's like the snooty, hard to believe side of it. And then it became, the derelict area it was in the 50s. And then in the 60s, I guess that's when it all started to come back. And I didn't get there until 1978 or 9, somewhere in there. And at that time, everything was back and busy. It still had the very bohemian atmosphere. It was already a place where European travelers would come because of the reputation it had, and it was already drawing big crowds in the weekends. But at night, it was very dangerous. I was living on the boardwalk there for a while, and you did not go out on the boardwalk at night. We had friends that were robbed at gunpoint going out to their cars in the morning, right? It was just a kind of a dangerous place. Now it's not. I mean, you do have some gang activity, but it's completely divorced of anything. Like now it's like a party city, there's like bars and food trucks, and it's just, it's a whole different sort of feel to it now. The character of the place itself as an art community, both the sort of bohemian nature and the sort of camaraderie that you get that's cross-cultural, all of that is still there. And the community itself, while you have the face of it on the boardwalk in Venice, the community is really all of these little houses that cover the entire area. Those are really sought after. So a large community of the creative people in LA live there, right? Writers for Hollywood and actors and musicians and artists, famous artists, all live all on those little walk streets and all around the canals and all through there. So that's really a large community, and that sort of makes up what the real flavor of Venice is. So, and it is a community that the indigents have just as big a voice, building owners and millionaires, right? Everybody is sort of equal there in an odd way, but because it sort of allows a sort of creative sort of quality to happen everybody loves it and goes there for that, right?
What is the thing that allows that quality to happen? That creative
I don't
quality to
really
happen?
have the answer to that. I don't know.
Is
I
it?
mean, you know, I've lived in a lot of places. I just go from one place to another, kind of looking for that, and not many places have it. It's just a mindset of the people. I don't know
Do you
exactly.
think it's because the whole region, the coastal region there is in a dish? It's in
Well, yeah,
like a
I
vortex.
theorized that it's a vortex, but I don't know if that's really that literal.
Well, they made Xanadu there,
Yeah.
so they did the opening sequence of the Xanadu, I think at on Dudley or Graffiti, the Graffiti Park. Um, yeah, what is the thing that pulls people to there and doesn't allow them to live anywhere else? Like I've seen so many people. Like, hey, do you know Sponto? You remember
No.
Sponto? He had a little art gallery on Dudley at the Venice West Cafe, which was originally the Beatnik, you know, with all the spoke poets and stuff like that there, and that became a hub for a lot of people on Dudley, the Sponto Gallery. But it seems like there's this like energy there. I guess is that to be hippy dippy, but that people keep on flocking there no matter what over generations to come there and create or graffiti and graffiti. But I don't know. It's interesting to see what will happen with it because right now, I don't. With the pandemic and everything, it's pretty. It's you know, there's a lot of people leaving LA, but then there's people coming into LA that can fill those spots. I mean, I guess what is the question I'm asking actually is I guess it'll always be like that no matter what beyond generations. It'll always be a vortex for people to come to, you know, create in.
Well, you know, that's kind of what I think, but you know, nothing is absolute. So,
Nothing is absolute for sure. So, are the in the wrapping it up, do you want to talk about anything else? Are we covering anything else you want to talk about? Do you want to?
no, I don't have anything. I'm just sort of, you know, you give me a lead, I take and run with it. If you got any more leads, I'll run with it.
Okay, what's can we see that that watercolor that you have in the background there?
Yeah, I'll show, you want me to just walk around and show you the watercolor?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I put, because I don't have a way to picture it up there, I can kind of point it at it. And here's, I don't know if you can't see that. How about this one? Can you see this one?
Lower the camera a little bit. Oh yeah, damn. What's that one about? Is that like Ed Moses on there or something?
So this is here. I'll show you. Let me while I'm walking around with the camera. Let me show you this one.
Nice. That's watercolor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's look another one. See how this looks up close. Can you see anything
Yep.
there?
Yep. Yep. Those your horses.
Yeah.
Is that watercolor?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I'm just walking around the room looking at pictures that I had out. So yeah. So I quit doing large paintings. I don't want to carry them around. After that big show a couple of years ago, now what do I do with them? So now I'm just working on watercolors because they're sort of smaller, easy for me to deal with, and I'm learning something completely new. And I have done some in abstract sort of formats, and then some that I'm learning how to do it in kind of a photorealistic style, so I can do my portraits. So that's what these are. This group down here is known as we're known as the Lunch Bunch. We meet every Wednesday, lunch, I know, 7 or 8 years or something, and we're all artists and you know, potters and you know
Do you
stuff.
remember?
And That's who they are, and that's it.
Do you with watercolor, because I love watercolors as well, but like do you like to work wet or do you work dry with your watercolor?
There's different techniques, and I'm just discovering a lot of different ones. What I've sort of I work kind of wet, but yeah, there's a lot of different techniques.
The watercolor, do you like the punch it gives you? Because all your watercolors I just saw were just dynamite with detail. I mean, how do you do that? I guess is it? I mean, they look so polished.
Well, thanks. That's what I'm trying to develop, to being able to do the portraits with watercolor. The kind of what I like about the watercolor, other than I don't really like that it's such a pain in the ass to work with, but there's no there's no there's no binder to speak of. It's where you get your most vibrant color is with watercolor. So that's kind of like that. So also, I don't know, it's a new medium. I'm just enjoying trying to figure it out.
Well, the portraiture, I do believe that was of your wife, looked so. The sides. Do you do dry brushing on top of are you just doing the dry brushing on top of it to get that clean effect? Where it almost looks like those almost look like an airbrush in a way. They're so like the gradation between color and and white, to makes it look really. I don't know. I guess that's just because you're Rip Cronk and you're a master
I'm
artist.
just good. That's right. You're asking me how I do it? I don't know. I just get up there and kind of go like that. I don't know.
And so, how do you to inspire other people to lean into their creativity? Is there anything that maybe here's a strange quote? Is there anything that you would have liked to have known before you got into this hardcore that you could tell other people to advise them when they start being creative and finding their voice?
Well, me personally, had I known that the movie industry was out here, I would have come out here really early on and gone and started painting screen sets and become an art director and gone up in the movie business where you can make a lot of money with a lot of fun because everybody in the business is really good at what they do. That's why they're there. So, and you work on a project, you either get to take off until the next project. No, man, I'd have been doing that. So I didn't know about that, or I'd have kind of moved in on that one right away just to become, financially okay. In terms of what I tell people is, don't do it. Oh my fucking God. If you're going to go out there and try to make money in life, you're making a mistake. I am a poor and starving artist. I might be famous in some ways, but I'm still a poor and starving artist. You don't make money if you're really trying to make art. I wouldn't trade what I do for anyone because there's a kind of if you get it right, art has a kind of power. It's a sort of force. It's a force in culture. It's sitting there like radiating. It's beaming what it says as a factor of culture out to everyone who looks at it. So it has a kind of power in society that sort of bypasses everything else, right? You look at an advertisement, it can be done incredibly well. But if it's an advertisement, you just blur, you just go by, you don't even see it. But if you go by a school mural and it's sort of mediumly well done, you stop and admire it. You're looking for what it says to you as a factor of culture, completely independent of the commercial and all the other imagery that's in the world. So that's still there. That's still part of our sort of life and culture that predates who we are now, right? And will still be there having that same effect, part of our actualization process, long after we're all gone. That's not going anywhere. So I deal in a whole different set of circumstances and ideas and reasons than most people think about. I'm not going to make money doing what I do, but I have the effect on society that I'm hoping to have, that I'm happy.
Yeah, I just saw recently. I saw that they unearthed this. If you want to get more drink, we can take a pause, but we'll leave. We'll because I got plenty, but I could talk to you for hours. But that Pompeii thing. Did you see that Pompeii that they unearthed? It looked like it was a food market display.
No.
Oh, and they unearthed this where they might have been selling food, and it's like it's all it's this it looks like yellows, and it's got like a chicken on it and stuff like that, but they unearthed it, but it's still the colors are vibrant, and it kind of gives you a little lens or a little eye into the pre documented art that was made years ago, but they actually were creating art a long time ago. From Neanderthals to present day. It's changed fashion. It's changed. It's like almost like an alchemy for reality, because the way we see things and the way people respond to things. But this little area has these really great colors that are still vibrant. Like they're finding those things a lot on I guess what's standing the test of time when they unearth it is not pottery, but those things like it's bricks, like tiles. That's what
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
you
see
saw
that.
that.
Yeah. So let me say to what you're saying, and you're absolutely right, and I'm in complete agreement with that. And it's the role of the mural now. It's kind of the same role of the mural as it was then. Uh, every civilization, the Egyptian civilization, the Cretes, all of them had wall painting. And while it just footnoted in history, the wall painting was everywhere. Even in the Renaissance period, when you go down into the city streets, it was like graffiti was written there about public issues and stuff. So the same sort of dynamic we have today was actually going on in the Renaissance, and it was going on in previous civilizations all the way back to the Egyptians. So just to kind of reiterate what you were saying, yeah, and the way the art functions is it functions at the site that it's made for, so that you go into a house, here's what's important to the people in that house, and they have it painted on the walls, right? So that's the role that art started out, and it's been that way in every civilization, and they've all had a stucco, not stucco, lime plaster, fresco. It's lime plaster, right? That went through every civilization except for the Egyptians, and they had a different technique that wasn't lime plaster, but they also had the colored painted walls that they find in all the different, discoveries of.
Yeah, they're even thinking about the Sphinx has been predated before the Egyptians got there because of water markings, and they've traveled like beyond the Sphinx, Easter Island, and particularly the Sphinx. The degradation of water, the timeline between the water line of the Sphinx predates the actual Egyptian reality, and so that Sphinx might have been there before the Egyptians came there.
Right. You know, we can only go back as far as the Ice Age. Before the Ice Age, we don't even know what was there.
Yeah, I mean, what was before that? I mean, as the glaciers melt and we see like more like woolly mammoths and woolly rhinos start appearing because the ice age is defrosting. They're finding all these different artifacts. Like this guy had tattoos all over him, and he had a thing of weed, or do you think mushrooms had a part to do with any of the creativity and existence of evolution of man from like shrew or small monkey to where we are now? I mean, can we look down that path and see where we're going to go in a weird way, like creatively? Like, I guess the point is we've always been creating, but everybody's been able to express themselves. Like you're finding old ass tattoos on 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 bodies that are being unfrozen, and so people have always wanted to express themselves or or draw on themselves or draw on things that might last. Or so basically,
Yeah,
is that our DNA? Is it in our DNA to create always and do this thing?
uh, I think it's part of the actualization process, part of growing up. I think it's ingrained in 5-year-olds when they're drawing their first picture of a tree. I mean, it's at that level that this is working. So it might be called something different, but it's still part of that process. So it's I think it's part of who we are.
Yeah, like art becomes language, you know, in a weird way. I'm getting a little psychedelic now, but I'm on my third beer, and this is a double podcast, so we can get a little abstract. But um, like maybe the before there was language, there was art.
I think they would like to say it's the other way, but it does seem like as an artist, that's how it is.
So where do we go from here as a society? Like in 10 years from now, what do you think it looks like? Like with fashion and like is it just be multi? And we're living in a multi-dimensional reality. So like it's like because and like even Alex Gray was saying like he had mentioned something about like how come people aren't drawing and painting like they were like in the Egyptian times, like with animal deities and half human, half stuff, which is going to bring us back to another conversation we had earlier. But like he said, well, we're still doing it. We're the Egyptians had the dog-headed, there's lots of different gods with half animal, half body, and but we're seeing that today um, through even your horses, your horse humans, and people are wearing things that are on their shirt. So we're still wearing symbols of animals combined with humans. It's still a pattern that we're seeing through time. Like we do it through fashion a lot more so now. With you see people wearing buffalo shirts, or we're still trying to get to that nature, and that nature is still there. We're still combining ideas and expressing them in art or expression.
And in an odd way, we're kind of going in the opposite direction now, though. I mean, we're developing who we are through art, and here's the cave paintings, and we're realizing ourselves, and that's where language comes from, maybe, and but there, the idea is you identify with the pattern of the animal, and you relate it to the pattern of your own life, and that's kind of how you're separating yourself from the a world that you're indistinguished from. right? You're trying to see who you are as a person, and you kind of, as you develop consciousness through the primitive, at least this is the idea that I have on it. And when you see the animal being represented in the primitive state, it's for the identification with this animal. They don't think of themselves as being the animal, but they're thinking about the pattern of the animal and what he represents in their life, blah, blah, blah. But today, we're already there. We got that. When we grow up, we grow up into the linear, conscious, self-aware mind's eye who sees the world. The world is, our feelings come from the unconscious. This whole sort of understanding of the world, they didn't have that then. This is sort of, that's all from the Enlightenment forward. Before that, things were all more primitive in terms of how we understood our relationship to the world. And the use of the animals helped pull us out of that. Okay, so now we're here. So now we're going, oh my God, what do we do? So we're looking to sort of reconnect with the world around us, right? So the animals, how now we're going back. So now it's like the head is the, right? Anyway, so there it is. That's, you know, the hands are now no longer hands, they're the animal, and that's where I go with that. So the paintings, that's what the name of that painting was, a cultural transformation myth. Well, I in fact think that. So if you want to go through change, you kind of identify with the mural, and through identification with the mural, you get to go through the cultural changes that you have in your mind that you need to do, and this gives you the way to do it. So it's a vehicle for change. So that's, you know, and so I kind of threaded all that stuff pretty together. You set it up pretty well.
Yeah, it's we're like I think we're just in this really interesting. Do you think this is a paradigm shift that we're going through right now? Right now, is
Well,
this?
that's the word I use. Yeah. Have you been reading my papers or something? Yeah, no, I think we're going through a cultural paradigm shift. I do. Uh, uh, we come out of a kind of modern culture that was hierarchically ordered, uh, mostly patriarchy. Uh, it's uh, information came through television stations, mass media, down to the people. It's all sort of top-down sort of orientation, and the people were like classed economically. Uh, so you had social classes that were basically economic social classes. Uh, that's not how it is anymore. That's gone. What we have now are ideological subcultures. So we have a different way that culture is coming together. Uh, so your group is no longer connected by how much money he makes. Your group is connected by, do we have the same feelings about how things work and what your values are? So there's a whole different sort of thing going on now that's sort of connected to social media. So social media culture has a kind of a group orientation, right? It's within your family group. So you have a whole society of overlapping extended family groups, right? So everybody gets the feel of what everybody else is feeling completely outside of mass media, right? So you, in your little social group, your own little internet group, you're kind of hovering over the daily routine in within your group, making judgments about it. So the same kind of family group thing you would be doing with your friends, it's now an extended friend group that you're making these judgments about things that are going on around you. So there's a whole different cultural dynamic going on. It didn't go on 20 years ago. And on the one hand, it's allowing for the right-wing cultural movement that's going on now to have as much teeth and body as it does. And it's also going to allow sort of the progressive sort of idea of modern values and in democratic and humanitarian values, this whole mindset to actually move forward also. So I think when we see what's going on right now with Trump and this kind of thing, I think that's like the opening phase of a much broader cultural movement, right? And I don't really know where it goes, but I can see the shape of it.
If art was a language, and it created, so much like color, science, it goes hand in hand and toe to toe to so many different things as we grow as a species. And now we actually can communicate like on a moment to moment, second to second basis across planet, from China to Netherlands to U.S. to, name your country, but we're able to the language. If it was art, I'm not any theologian I'm just some dude. But like, it seems like it's like coalescing into something. There's a new organic situation that's happening here, and we have to kind of learn the language of this immediate, conversation of people able to transmute like complex thoughts like on a moment to moment scale in real time. So maybe that's kind of like going to change. It's changing everything, really. Art, history.
Well, it's changing. It is changing everything. I mean, things are moving so quickly. It's like a slipstream. There's no stanchions. There's nothing to hold on to anymore. The meanings of words and all these things, everything is kind of in a state of flux. We've let go of the whole Enlightenment idea of universals and absolutes. So what has value, that's what sort of breaks everything down into groups. You're kind of going, oh my God, it's a sinking raft, and you grab a, it's like that, it's not, there's no central modern sort of worldview anymore. That's gone.
And this is just in a human exploration of it, because like the whales are the gatekeepers of time on this planet, and the oceans and stuff like that. And I'm getting a little psychedelic here, but like, I mean, those whales have been a lot longer here than humans. I have a.
So I don't know where to go with the whales.
Well, it's just like time and reality is shape shifting in a form that we can actually see what it looked like and where it's at. So where does it go from here? I guess, but just because they're finding like whales used to walk on land, and just as a part of the planet, humans, we're just part of this planet, and we think we're the whole planet. But I guess as I'm talking to you, I'm exploring the idea of just where we go as a species from here. So there's no question, really. It's just me being a third beer in. But do you think there's any? Do you think there's human life on other planets?
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. Did you ask me, is there human life on other
Planets
planets?
or extraterrestrials or yeah?
Well, that's a little off topic. I
Well,
guess
we got three.
think,
I want to wrap it up. I want to wrap it up in 5 minutes. So I'm just digging deep.
Yeah, it's all fine with me. So, there has to be other stuff on other planets. It's just the distances are so great that hopefully we'll never be involved in them. We have to, come up with our own solutions.
Well, Mr. Rip Cronk, this has been extraordinary, and I've learned so much. And I can only sing your praises for so long before I start sounding like I'm blowing smoke up your ass.
Yeah, yeah. But we sat around, got drunk, got stoned together, so I enjoyed it.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's talk in the future. All right. Happy 2021.
Okay.
So the left side is
Basically done.
that basically done?
I want them to sort of separate in the layers, so I'll go back and add more colors as needed, but I got to put the rest of it sort of in place first so I can figure that out. The pink clouds, which I haven't put in yet, will make everything sort of separate. So I'm reserving judgment until I do that. Benton County Community College was called Starry Peak, which was really the inspiration for this piece, where I sort of realized diorama sort of nature of it. When you look at pre-modern art, which is mostly manuscript pages, they're put together as diptychs, so that here's a town, here's the people, here's the people, here's the town, here's the river, but they're all layered across in sort of 2D perspective or 1-point perspective. 3D perspective didn't happen until sort of Renaissance thinking. So I'm trying to put these together with that idea in mind, that I'm going back and doing it in a sort of diptych manner where things are layered to create distance and space. So, just a trippy dude, can't help myself.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of people tripping with this painting.
Kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, people go by the one that I put up in Corvallis and go, "You must have been on mushrooms."
Just burned down.
I want that wall.
Get it.
Just saying. Sorry.
No, that's a great wall.
You don't see a wall like that very often.
Real talk. Oh yeah, no. I watched you for years, brother, and you're just so humble and just humble, man. And you just go in, you do your job early, and you get out. And I see you in the morning, and I say, and I come back, and that shit's finished, and I'm just like, man, yo. And I just, we can pass these things all our lives, and it's nothing. When you really start paying attention, it's just like that palm tree. If I walk up to that palm tree and I really, try to get in touch with that nature of the palm tree, you got to know, I recognize that palm tree. Same thing with your murals, your art. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I see you're selling a lot of great stuff out here, man.
Hey, brother, we just trying to keep it, keep the love going.
Fuck yeah.
That's all. You know what that's about.
I hear it.
Bring some of your art, man. Bring me a piece of something, bro. We put it out here. You never know what's going to happen.
Okay, I'll do it. You take 50% commission?
Let's work something out.
We'll work it out. I'll bring some stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to know you're going to get a special rate just because of our history and who you are and what you've done over there in the arts.
Well, thank you. That's
No. This brother, like I said, brother, hey.
It's the next step, baby. It's the next step.
You something, G. You have to know, brother. And I hope you can just get some younger cats, and just try to show them that, just because it's life changing and it's a part of history because that lives forever. As long as they take care of it.
Yeah, as long as it's around.
Right, but you have to know it's been photographed. It's in the digital world. You know what I'm saying? It's floating in the mega space or whatever they call it. So just know, brother, that yeah, man, you're something else. Real talk. Yeah, because you didn't just start doing this. You've honed in. So please. I would love to see you up here. Like I said, I don't know who you're working with, but get somebody younger and younger so it can live on.
Yeah, well, it's become a big deal now, so walls are actually hard to find nowadays. So, it is now a thing.
Did you do the Tina movie?
No, I did not. I had contacts to do it, but I did not do that one. There's a story behind that.
Nah, hey, brother, you have a list. It continues, much continued success, my brother.
Thank you.
such misery. If you praise him for a fool, he's the last one to know. Loving eyes can never see. Loving eyes can never see. Loving eyes can never